It's the Worth Knowing live stream. I'm Matt Robison, and something is shifting in American politics right now. You can see it in the polls, in special elections, and in the increasingly nervous behavior coming out of Trump's White House. The question is whether we're feeling a tremor or the start of an earthquake. This is one of those moments that's subtle. Have you ever felt something under your feet, a vibration? There's a truck passing on the road outside, a rumble almost too low to detect. Only later, you see a news report that there was actually a low magnitude earthquake in your area. That's the kind of tectonic shift that I'm starting to feel. I wrote about this, some at least, on my Substack Worth Knowing, worthknowing.substack.com. Pointed out that while election forecasters were beginning to talk about Democrats now having a better chance at the US Senate, if you look at the numbers, it actually seems more like the Democrats have jumped into a solid lead. The generic ballot is now showing Democrats ahead by 5.7 points. Not quite where Democrats were in 2018 when we had a blue tsunami and they led by 8 points on the generic ballot on election day, but it's very close to the Republican margin, 6.2 points in 2010, that led then President Barack Obama to call that midterm election a shellacking. Or look at the polls of individual races. Credible polls now show the Democrat ahead in Maine, North Carolina, Alaska, Georgia, and tied in Ohio. Or look at the evidence of special elections. We've seen a 20+ point shift in Democrats' favor in the most recent ones. And that tells us that Democrats and independents who lean toward Democrats are the voters who are actually motivated to turn out. So that's what the numbers say. But the question isn't whether there are warning signs, it's whether they add up to something real. Is it the beginning of gathering momentum? Is this as profound a shift as it looks like it is? Sometimes the numbers lie. Sometimes the numbers tell a distorted version of the truth. As Churchill said, there's three kinds of lies, damn lies, and statistics. And I can definitely create statistics for you. Take a set of figures like this, right? This is the most recent set of credible polls in the marquee Senate races, right? John Ossoff is absolutely crushing it. He's up by 3 in Georgia. Alaska, Democrat +5. North Carolina, Roy Cooper, Democrat +8. Maine, could be Plattner or Mills. I believe this is on the basis of Plattner. Regardless, either way, Democrat +9. Ohio, we're tied with Sherrod Brown on the ballot. And the question becomes, is that relevant? Are the numbers telling you a real story? The answer is they kind of are. It's kind of telling you a real story. Polling figures this far out are not especially predictive. They are reasonably predictive when they're for the generic ballot. So you look at individual races, you look at numbers like what we were just looking at here, that's, I don't know, maybe 40, 50% predictive. It could end up there, but you look at some close margins, things could shift. But you look at the generic ballot, and this is from Nate Silver from last week. I think it's now a Dems plus 5.6. It's statistically the same. But as I mentioned in the open, we are right now we're knocking on the door of the same territory that in 2010 led Republicans to that midterm shellacking. And we're creeping up toward the territory that you would have seen in 2018 with the blue tsunami. Now, how real is this? Turns out that about 200 days out, which we are, this is fairly predictive. And there's a pretty good data history here that says that these numbers are going to continue to trend toward the Democrats. They're going to continue to break that way. That's especially underscored when you have a situation like we have now with Trump so far underwater on approval rating. You have an unpopular president. The party that's in the opposition, the generic ballot tends to break their way by a couple of points at the very end stretch. And you're really talking at that point about going from 5.7 points, almost 6 points, to that 8-point spread. And then you're in blue tsunami territory.